Hello and good evening. I apologize if there's some weird technical stuff going on. I'm trying a new setup, so we're gonna have to see if this works. Good evening. It's Monday, March 30th, and tonight we're gonna read from Shel Silverstein's "Where the Sidewalk Ends." I forgot the name of the book. That's exciting. If you have any issues or if things aren't coming through, please let me know, either in the live chat or anything like that. It's a whole different setup that I'm using now than I was for the readings I was doing last week. So my apologies if things look kind of weird. One of the best things about Shel Silverstein's books, I would say, would be the illustrations in addition to everything else. So I've got it set up in such a way that you don't have to look at my cool mustache the whole time, and we can actually look at the book. So I'd like to get to that. I hope everything's going well. I hope you're doing okay. And let's get to it, because I do love this book, and I love Shel Silverstein. So here we go. Where the Sidewalk Ends. The Poems and Drawings of Shel Silverstein. HarperCollins Publishers, who are hopefully feeling forgiving right now. This book is for Ursula. Where the Sidewalk Ends. Invitation. If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer, if you're a pretender, come sit by my fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in. Come in. The Acrobats. I'll swing by my ankles, she'll cling to your knees as you hang by your nose from a high-up trapeze, but just one thing please as we float through the breeze. Don't sneeze. Magic. Sandra's seen a leprechaun. Eddie touched a troll. Lori danced with witches once. Charlie found some goblins' gold. Donald heard a mermaid sing. Susie spied an elf. All the magic I have known, I've had to make myself. Homemade boat. This boat that we just built is just fine. And don't try to tell us it's not. The sides and the back are divine. It's the bottom, I guess we forgot. I must remember. I must remember turkey on Thanksgiving, pudding on Christmas, eggs on Easter, chicken on Sunday, fish on Friday, leftovers Monday. But, oh, me, I'm such a dunce. I went and ate them all at once. The 4th. Oh, crash, my bash, it's bang, the zang, 4th whoosh of Baroom, July. Whew. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too, went for a ride in a flying shoe. Hooray, what fun! It's time we flew, said Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle was captain, and Pickle was crew, and Tickle served coffee with mulligan stew. As higher and higher and higher they flew, Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too, over the sun and beyond the blue. Hold on, stay in, I hope we do, cried Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Never return, Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too, never returned to the world they knew. And nobody knows what's happened to dear Ickle me, pickle me, tickle me too. Captain Hook. Captain Hook must remember not to scratch his toes. Captain Hook must watch out and never pick his nose. Captain Hook must be gentle when he shakes your hand. Captain Hook must be careful opening sardine cans, and playing tag and pouring tea and turning pages of his book. Lots of folks I'm glad I ain't, but mostly Captain Hook. tug-o-war. I will not play at tug-o-war. I'd rather play at hug-o-war, where everyone hugs instead of tugs, where everyone giggles and rolls on the rug, where everyone kisses and everyone grins, and everyone cuddles and everyone wins. It's dark in here. I am writing these poems from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. So please excuse the handwriting, which may not be too clear, but this afternoon by the lion's cage, I'm afraid I got too near, and I'm writing these lines from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. Orchestra. So you haven't got a drum, just beat your belly. So I haven't got a horn, I'll play my nose. So we haven't got any cymbals, we'll just slap our hands together. And though there may be orchestras that sound a little better with their fancy shiny instruments that cost an awful lot, hey, we're making music twice as good by playing what we've got. Flag. 1 star's for Alaska, 1 star's for Nebraska, 1 star is North Dakota, 1 star is Minnesota. There are lots of other stars, but I forget which ones they are. Colors. My skin is kind of brownish, yellowish white. My eyes are grayish, bluish green, but I'm told they look orange in the night. My hair is reddish, blondish brown, but it's silver when it's wet. And all the colors I am inside have not been invented yet. The loser. Mama said I'd lose my head if it wasn't fastened on. Today I guess it wasn't, because while playing with my cousin, it fell off and rolled away, and now it's gone. And I can't look for it, because my eyes are in it, and I can't call to it, because my mouth is on it. Couldn't hear me anyway, because my ears are on it. Can't even think about it, because my brain is in it. So I guess I'll just sit down on this rock and rest for a minute. Joey. Joey took a stone and knocked down the sun. And whoosh, it swizzled down so hard, and bloomp, it bounced in his backyard, and glunk, it landed on his toe. And the world was dark, and the corn wouldn't grow, and the wind wouldn't blow, and the cock wouldn't crow, and it always was night, night, night. All because of a stone and Joe. Listen to the mustn'ts. Listen to the mustn'ts, child, listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never-haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. Jimmy Jett and his TV set. I'll tell you the story of Jimmy Jett, and you know what I tell you is true. He loved to watch his TV set almost as much as you. He watched all day, he watched all night, till he grew pale and lean, from the early show to the late show, and all the shows between. He watched till his eyes were frozen wide, and his bottom grew into his chair, and his chin turned into a tuning dial, and antennae grew out of his hair. And his brain turned into TV tubes, and his face to a TV screen, and 2 knobs saying vert and horiz grew where his ears had been. And he grew a plug that looked like a tail, so we plugged in little Jim. And now instead of him watching TV, we all sit around watching him. Early bird. Oh, if you're a bird, be an early bird, and catch the worm for your breakfast plate. If you're a bird, be an early, early bird. But if you're a worm, sleep late. Sky seasoning. A piece of sky broke off and fell through the crack in my ceiling right into my soup. Kerplop. I really must state that I usually hate lentil soup, but I ate every drop. Delicious, delicious, a bit like plaster, but so delicious, goodness sake. I could have eaten a lentil soup lake. It's amazing the difference a bit of sky can make. The Farmer and the Queen. She's coming, the farmer said to the owl. Oh, what shall I do? Shall I bow when she comes? Shall I twiddle my thumbs? The owl asked, who? The queen, the royal queen, she'll pass the farm today. Shall I salute? He asked the horse. The horse said, nay. Shall I give her a gift? He asked the wren, a lovely memento for her to keep? An egg or a peach or an ear of corn? The wren said, cheap. But should I curtsy or should I cheer? Oh, here's her carriage now. What should I do? He asked the dog. The dog said, bow. And so he did, and so she passed. Oh, tra-la-la-la-la. She smiled, she did, he told the sheep. The sheep said, bah. Pancake? Who wants a pancake, sweet and piping hot? Good little Grace looks up and says, I'll take the one on top. Who else wants a pancake fresh off the griddle? Terrible Teresa smiles and says, I'll take the one in the middle. Smart. My dad gave me $1 bill because I'm his smartest son, and I swapped it for 2 shiny quarters because 2 is more than 1. And then I took the quarters and traded them to Lou for 3 dimes. I guess he don't know that 3 is more than 2. Just then along came old blind Bates, and just 'cause he can't see, he gave me 4 nickels for my 3 dimes, and 4 is more than 3. And I took the nickels to Hiram Combs down at the seed feed store, and the fool gave me 5 pennies for them, and 5 is more than 4. And then I went and showed my dad, and he got red in the cheeks and closed his eyes and shook his head, too proud of me to speak. Us. Me and him and me. We're always together, as you can see. I wish he'd leave so I'd be free. I'm getting a little bit tired of he, and he may be a bit bored with me. On movies and ladies, we cannot agree. I like to dance, he loves to ski. He likes the mountains, I love the sea. I like hot chocolate, he wants his tea. I want to sleep, he has to pee. He's meaner and duller and fatter than me. But I guess there's worse things we could be. Instead of 2, we could be 3. Me and him and me. I'm making a list. I'm making a list of the things I must say for politeness, and goodness and kindness and gentleness, sweetness and rightness. Hello, pardon me, how are you? Excuse me, bless you, may I? Thank you, goodbye. If you know some I've forgot, please stick them in your eye. Me and my giant. I have a friend who is a giant, and he lives where the tall weeds grow. He's high as a mountain and wide as a barn, and I only come up to his toe, you know? I only come up to his toe. When the daylight grows dim and I talk with him way down in the marshy sands, and his ear is too far away to hear, but still he understands, he stands. I know he understands. For we have a code called the Scratch Tap Code, and here is what we do. I scratch his toe. Once means hello, and twice means how are you? 3 means does it look like rain? 4 times means don't cry. 5 times means I'll scratch you a joke, and 6 times means goodbye. Goodbye 6 times means goodbye. And he answers me by tapping his toe. Once means hello, friend. 2 taps means it's very nice to feel your scratch again. 3 taps means it's lonely here with my head on top of the sky. 4 taps means today an eagle smiled as she flew by. 5 taps means, oops, I just bumped my head against the moon. 6 means sigh, and 7 means bye, and 8 means come back soon, soon, soon. 8 means come back soon. And then I scratch 1,000 times, and he taps with a bappity bim, and he laughs so hard he shakes the sky. That means I'm tickling him. Rain. I opened my eyes and looked up at the rain, and it dripped in my head and flowed into my brain, and all that I hear as I lie in my bed is the slishety slosh of the rain in my head. I step very softly. I walk very slow. I can't do a handstand. I might overflow. So pardon the wild, crazy thing I just said. I'm just not the same since there's rain in my head. 2 boxes. 2 boxes met upon the road, said one unto the other. If you're a box and I'm a box, then you must be my brother. Our sides are thin, we're caving in, and we must get no thinner. And so 2 boxes, hand in hand, went home to have their dinner. True story. This morning, I jumped on my horse and went out for a ride, and some wild outlaws chased me and they shot me in the side. So I crawled into a wildcat's cave to find a place to hide, but some pirates found me sleeping there, and soon they had me tied to a pole and built a fire under me. I almost cried till a mermaid came and cut me loose and begged to be my bride. So I said I'd come back Wednesday, but I must admit I lied. Then I ran into a jungle swamp, but I forgot my guide, and I stepped into some quicksand, and no matter how I tried, I couldn't get out until I met a water snake named Clyde, who pulled me to some cannibals who planned to have me fried. But an eagle came and swooped me up, and through the air we flied. But he dropped me in a boiling lake 1,000 miles wide, and you'll never guess what I did then. I died. Boa constrictor. Oh, I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor, a boa constrictor. I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor, and I don't like it one bit. Well, what do you know? It's nibbling my toe. Oh, gee, it's up to my knee. Oh, my, it's up to my thigh. Oh, fiddle, it's up to my middle. Oh, heck, it's up to my neck. Oh, dread, it's up... Hector the Collector. Hector the Collector collected bits of string, collected dolls with broken heads and rusty bells that would not ring, pieces out of picture puzzles, bent-up nails and ice cream sticks, twists of wires, worn-out tires, paper bags, and broken bricks. Old chip vases, half shoelaces, Gatling guns that wouldn't shoot, leaky boats that wouldn't float, and stopped-up horns that wouldn't toot. Butter knives that had no handles, copper keys that fit no locks, rings that were too small for fingers, dried-up leaves and patched-up socks. Worn-out belts that had no buckles, electric trains that had no tracks, airplane models, broken bottles, three-legged chairs, and cups with cracks. Hector the Collector loved these things with all his soul. Loved them more than shining diamonds, loved them more than glistening gold. Hector called to all the people, "Come and share my treasure trunk." And all the silly, sightless people came and looked and called it junk. Invention. I've done it. I've done it. Guess what I've done? Invented a light that plugs in to the sun. The sun is bright enough. The bulb is strong enough. But oh, there's only one thing wrong. The cord ain't long enough. The Googies are coming. The Googies are coming, the old people say, to buy little children and take them away. 50 cents for fat ones, 20 cents for lean ones, 15 cents for dirty ones, 30 cents for clean ones, a nickel each for mean ones. The Googies are coming, and maybe tonight, to buy little children and lock them up tight. 80 cents for husky ones, quarter for the weak ones, penny for each noisy one, $1 for the meek ones. 40 cents for happy ones, 11 cents for sad ones, and kitties, when they come to buy, it won't do any good to cry, but just between yourself and I, they never buy the bad ones. For sale. One sister for sale, one sister for sale, one crying and spying young sister for sale. I'm really not kidding, so who'll start the bidding? Do I hear $1, a nickel, a penny? Oh, isn't there any one kid who will buy this old sister for sale? This crying and spying young sister for sale. Sleeping sardines. I'm tired of eating just beans, says I. So I opened a can of sardines. But they started to squeak. Hey, we're trying to sleep. We were snuggled up tight till you let in the light. Yes, big silly sap, let us finish our nap. Now close up the lid. So that's what I did. Will somebody please pass the beans? 1 inch tall. If you were only 1 inch tall, you'd ride a worm to school. The teardrop of a crying ant would be your swimming pool. A crumb of cake would be a feast and last you 7 days at least. A flea would be a frightening beast if you were 1 inch tall. If you were only 1 inch tall, you'd walk beneath the door, and it would take about a month to get down to the store. A bit of fluff would be your bed. You'd swing upon a spider's thread and wear a thimble on your head if you were 1 inch tall. You'd surf across the kitchen sink upon a stick of gum. You couldn't hug your mama, you'd just have to hug her thumb. You'd run from people's feet in fright. To move a pen would take all night. This poem took 14 years to write, 'cause I'm just 1 inch tall. Enter this deserted house. But please walk softly as you do. Frogs dwell here, and crickets too. Ain't no ceiling, only blue. Jays dwell here, and sunbeams too. Floors are flowers, take a few. Ferns grow here, and daisies too. Whoosh swoosh, to wit to woo. Bats dwell here, and hoot owls too. Ha ha ha, hee hee, hoo hoo. Gnomes dwell here, and goblins too. And my child, I thought you knew. I dwell here, and so do you. Sick. I cannot go to school today, said little Peggy Ann McKay. I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox. Oh, and there's one more, that's 17. And don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue. It might be instamatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure that my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin, my belly button's caving in, my back is wrenched, my ankles sprain, my appendix pains each time it rains, my nose is cold, my toes are numb, I have a sliver in my thumb, my neck is stiff, my voice is weak, I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth. I think my hair is falling out. My elbow's bent. My spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk. I cannot hear. There is a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail, and my heart is... What? What's that? What's that you say? Oh, you say today is Saturday? Oh, goodbye. I'm going out to play. Upstairs. There's a family of wrens who live upstairs, 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 upstairs. Inside my hat, all cozy, in my hair, my hair, my hair. I've moved a dozen times and still they're there, they're there, they're there. I'd like to get away from them, but where, but where, but where? This hat just isn't big enough to share, to share, to share. But now I see you're bored and you don't care, don't care, don't care about the wrens who live inside my hair, my hair, my hair. The garden. Old man Simon planted a diamond, grew hisself a garden the likes of none. Sprouts all growin', comin' up glowin', fruits of jewels all shinin' in the sun. Colors of the rainbow, see the sun and rain grow sapphires and rubies on ivory vines. Grapes of jade just ripenin' in the shade, just ready for the squeezin' into green jade wine. Pure gold there, blowin' in the warm air, old crow nibblin' on the amethyst seeds. In between the diamonds, old man Simon crawls about pulling out platinum weeds, pink pearl berries, all you can carry. Put 'em in a bushel and haul 'em into town. Up in the tree, there's opal nuts and gold pears. Hurry quick, grab a stick and shake some down. Take a silver tater, emerald tomato, fresh plump coral melons hanging in reach. Old man Simon, digging in his diamonds, stops and rests and dreams about one real peach. Jumping rope. This started out as a jumping rope. You probably think that I'm a dope, but this started out as a jumping rope, and now I fear there is no hope. But this started out as a jumping rope. Who? Who can kick a football from here out to Afghanistan? I can. Who fought tigers in the street while all the policemen ran and hid? I did. Who will fly and have X-ray eyes and be known as the man no bullet can kill? I will. Who can sit and tell lies all night? I might. Ridiculous Rose. Her mama said, "Don't eat with your fingers." "Okay," said Ridiculous Rose. So she ate with her toes. Where the Sidewalk Ends. There is a place where the sidewalk ends, and before the street begins. And there the grass grows soft and white, and there the sun burns crimson bright, and there the moonbird rests from his flight to cool in the peppermint wind. Let us leave this place where the smoke blows black, and the dark street winds and bends, past the pits where the asphalt flowers grow. We shall walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and watch where the chalk-white arrows go to the place where the sidewalk ends. Yes, we'll walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and we'll go where the chalk-white arrows go. For the children, they mark, and the children, they know the place where the sidewalk ends. Snowman. 'Twas the first day of the springtime, and the snowman stood alone, as the winter snows were melting, and the pine trees seemed to groan. "Ah, you poor sad smiling snowman, you'll be melting by and by." Said the snowman, "What a pity, for I'd like to see July. Yes, I'd like to see July, and please don't ask me why, but I'd like to, yes, I'd like to, oh, I'd like to see July." Chirped a robin just arriving, "Seasons come and seasons go, and the greatest ice must crumble when its flowers time to grow. And as one thing is beginning, so another thing must die, and there's never been a snowman who's ever seen July. No, they never see July, no matter how they try. No, they never, ever, never, ever, never see July." But the snowman sniffed his carrot nose and said, "At least I'll try." And he bravely smiled his frosty smile and blinked his coal-black eye. And there he stood and faced the sun, ablazing from the sky. And I really cannot tell you if he ever saw July. Did he ever see July? You can guess as well as I if he ever saw July. The crocodile's toothache. The crocodile went to the dentist and sat down in the chair. And the dentist said, "Now tell me, sir, why does it hurt and where?" And the crocodile said, "I'll tell you the truth. I have a terrible ache in my tooth." And he opened his jaws so wide, that the dentist, he climbed right inside. And the dentist laughed, "Oh, isn't this fun?" as he pulled out the teeth one by one. And the crocodile cried, "You're hurting me so. Please put down your pliers and let me go." But the dentist just laughed with a ho, 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 and he said, "I still have 12 to go. Oops, that's the wrong one, I confess, but what's one crocodile's tooth, more or less?" Then suddenly the jaws went snap, and the dentist was gone, right off the map. And where he went, one could only guess, to north or south or east or west. He left no forwarding address, but what's one dentist, more or less? Thumbs. Oh, the thumb-sucker's thumb may look wrinkled and wet and withered and white as the snow. But the taste of a thumb is the sweetest taste yet, as only we thumb-suckers know. Wild boar. If you tell me the wild boar has 20 teeth, I'll say, "Why, sure." Or say that he has 33, that number's quite all right with me. Or scream that he has 99. I'll never say that you are lying. For the number of teeth in a wild boar's mouth is a subject I'm glad I know nothing about. Lester. Lester was given a magic wish by the goblin who lives in the banyan tree. And with his wish, he wished for 2 more wishes, and now instead of just 1 wish, he cleverly had 3. And with each one of these, he simply wished for 3 more wishes, which gave him 3 old wishes plus 9 new. And with each of these 12, he slyly wished for 3 more wishes, which added up to 46, or is it 52? Well, anyway, he used each wish to wish for wishes till he had 5,007,018,034. And then he spread them on the ground and clapped his hands, danced around, and skipped and sang, and then sat down and wished for more. And more they multiplied, while other people smiled and cried and loved and reached and touched and felt. Lester sat amid his wealth, stacked mountain high like stacks of gold, sat and counted and grew old. And then one Thursday night they found him dead with his wishes piled around him. And they counted the lot and found that not a single one was missing. All shiny and new, here take a few and think of Lester as you do. In a world of apples and kisses and shoes, he wasted his wishes on wishing. And I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight. We're a good chunk of the way through. We will continue tomorrow night. I'm going to figure out some of the technical things that have been happening, so feel free to provide any feedback if you noticed anything weird. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have had a good day and that you have a good day tomorrow, and I'll be back 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And goodbye.